Hello viewers, welcome to Stormcitygh TV. Today's segment is called the Eye of the Community, and we have one strong man who is a good historian who knows more about this community we are coming to talk about. So we'll go on a short break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest to you, who is here to tell us more about this community we are here to talk about. Yes, welcome back from the break. My guest is here with me, and we are coming to talk about this lovely community of ours. I welcome you to the show, Mr. Abuaji.
Thank you very much.
This is Stormcitygh TV, and we are here to just talk about this community we are in, Akuse to be precise. We want to know more about Akuse. So we welcome you to the show again.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so how long have you lived in Akuse?
Thank you. You've asked a very sensible question. I've been born here in Akuse. That has been on the 7th of September 1973. So coming September, I'll be 50 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So 50 years, you've been in Akuse here for 50 years.
Yes.
Okay. So we want to know more about Akuse. Being born and bred here in Akuse, we want to know the story that you know about Akuse.
Thank you very much. Akuse, in the olden days and before even the arrival of the colonial masters, surprisingly, Akuse-Amedeka has been the port. So I always say before Tema and Takrady Harbor, Akuse-Amedeka was, because it was here in Akuse that the colonial masters mostly established most of their businesses. We used to have the UAC, that's the United Africa Company, and we have GB Olivant, we have the Chivilier, those are from the Franco. Now, there are monuments. When you come into Akuse, you still see the infrastructures. There is one of the ships that used to bring the commodity here that is wrecked. It is in the water as we speak now in Akuse-Amedeka. Good. Akuse in itself started from Amedeka. You understand? Akuse. Aku is a lagoon which is still existing, and when you go into Amedeka, it's on your right hand side.
Okay, Mr. Abuaji, please, we want you to emphasize them more. We are talking about history to us. We are learning a lot from you. Okay. So I want you to tell us where exactly we can locate the Aku.
Thank you. Aku can precisely be located when you get into Amedeka. Initially, when the Europeans came, they have created a railway across the Aku to the Amedeka port. That is where they used to convey their goods to the UAC, which is still there. It is still in existence.
Here at Akuse?
Yes, in Akuse. The railways are still on the Aku River.
Okay, so can you help us with the year? Where?
With the year, no. But all these things happened in the 17th and the 18th.
Okay.
Yes, and the 17th and the 18th, before we got into the 19th centuries. Yes.
Okay. So you were talking to us about the ports. Akuse had one of the ports in Ghana.
And even Akuse have the oldest hospital in the whole country called Ghana, built in 1911. Likewise, the police station and the prison yard were all built in the same year, 1911. When you look at those monuments, look at the post office. It's built with rock.
Okay.
When you come to the prison yard, it's built with rock. Go to the hospital, the same thing. The colonial house where Buzia, the UP, that's the United Party, was stationed here in 1969. Buzia, Professor Buzia was stationed here. The colonial house is within the VRA premises, which has been refurbished, rehabilitated by late Jeremiah John Rawlings.
Okay. Thank you for that. Viewers, it's still Stormcitygh TV. We are going on a commercial break. We shall be back.
Subscribe, share, like Stormcitygh TV.
Viewers, welcome back from the break. It's still Stormcitygh TV. We are on the Community Eye Show, and we are here with Mr. Abuaji. This show is proudly sponsored by iPlay Studios. If you want top-notch quality video recordings, picture recordings for your weddings, your naming ceremonies, anything has to do with recording and wedding cards printing, link up to iPlay Studios for one better and quality pictures and video recordings. Mr. Boaji, you were telling us about how the Europeans convey their goods or materials to Amedeka here in Akuse. Want you to tell us more about it?
Thank you very much. That railway, as I was talking about, was serving a whole lot of purpose. Humans are used to apply it before the race. So it was serving a purpose till at point in time when they have to leave. Akuse got connected to Amedeka. So when you get into Akuse, the first community you will see is called Akuse, indicating that at the banks of Akuse. And when you get to those very areas, we have people who really came down here as merchants also, who were doing buying and selling. When you get into the Akuse community, we mostly call them the Buam clan. That comes from the Osudoku aspect of that very area. We have people living in those areas, surnames like Hansen. We have the Rogers. We have the Sarkodie. That's who happens to be the second Chief Justice of this country, Julius Sarkodie. We have the Rogers, which I mentioned, and the Jacques. Many more to mention, but few. After Akutwe, we have Zongo. And every Zongo, we know the kind of people that we always host around that area.
Okay.
Now, from Zongo, we have Salom. After Salom, we have Osokutu. Did I mention Osokutu? No. We have Osokutu. Before we have come to get the VRA bungalows. Starting from the Imprijulo quarters. Imprijulo quarters was built to house technocrats. That's engineers and other laborers that were working with the Italians who were constructing the dam. So when you hear about the Imprijulo quarters, that has been the purpose of which it has been built before the Akuse Dam, I will call it, because the dam is situated here in Akuse, but out of anomaly, they always talk. Documentary, it has been wrong. And it's being called Bomb Dam. Yes. But to my knowledge, and with the man sitting down here, your name once again?
Frank.
Yes, Frank Asari. I expect this dam to either be called Togome Dam or Momikopi Dam or Natriku Dam. But here we are today. We have a dam in Akuse that is labeled as what? Bomb Dam. Another question to follow sometime to come.
Okay, lovely. I want to know again, what do you think, having all these things in the past, why is Akuse not developed like that as compared to other communities around?
Thank you. You asked a very sensible question. Akuse in itself has been a regional capital. Government knew all this. Akuse has been a district capital.
Okay.
And as I speak to you, everything has been taken out of the town and we have only the prison yard, which was also built in 1911. So as I speak to you now, the administration network has been taken out into Odumase. And we are here with all these facilities like the dam, and we are not enjoying anything. Just take a look at our road. Who is the head? And we have a lot of matured people in the town, and I always call them, excuse me to use indecent language, they are not thinking. Yes, they are not thinking, because at the end of the day, I don't want to go into land litigation, but government second largest investment in this country is here in Akuse, which is the second hydroelectric dam situated here. So tell me, how should the condition of the people of Akuse be looking like? Do we deserve bad road?
No.
No. Plus Akuse is having the oldest hospital in Ghana here. Ask me, when we are even doing this interview, if the owner of this house is sick now, emergency, where is the nearest hospital they will take him?
It's Akuse.
It's Akuse government hospital, and look at the nature of the
road. So
road.
in your submissions, you told us we had a port here. We know we have different type of ports. Is it a fishing harbor or the port?
It was an inland port that the people were bringing in the foreign goods, okay, that were used to be sold here in Akuse. See, as I was telling you, the UAC and the GB Olivans and Co. were those that were selling those merchandise that were brought from the European countries.
Okay.
Yes. And people from Koforidia, you can mention it, all the other part of the country have been coming here to buy their wares and take them out before selling. And remember, before the Adomi Bridge was built, there was no bridge. They were using ferry. They crossed from Senchi.
Okay.
In those times before Nkrumah came to construct the Adomi Bridge. Yes. So by then, there was no even road, direct road from Akuse to Tema. No, there was no road. You have to pass through Krobo Odumanse via Dodowa before you get into Tema or you go into Accra.
Okay.
Yes. But it was during the after the construction of the Akuse Dam. You know, it was when the American came in that they won their bauxite. Nkrumah, as intelligent leader, told them that no, the raw material will not leave this country. But it will be better for them to come and do what? Establish a factory here in the country. That is why we used to have Valco.
Okay.
Yes, Valco was owned by Kaiser. Kaiser is an American that owns a GMC Motors in America. GMC, General Motors Corporation in Detroit. That's the world leading manufacturers of cars.
Okay.
So Kaiser came to set up the Valco here, which gave job to Ghanaians. Whether you are educated or you are not educated, there has been a job for them. So it was just after the Akuse Dam and the construction of the Adomi Bridge that the road need to connect from where? From all these very enclave into Tema, because Kwame Nkrumah has already designed Tema to be an industrial hub for this very country called Ghana till his overthrow on the 24th of February 1966. That is when darkness has covered this country up to now.
Okay, so we come back to Akuse's conversation. I want us to look at it from where this place was the harbor that people use here to trade. So where do they trade right from here to where?
Thank you. You asked a sensible question. That is why today, when you go to Tema and Takrady, goods that are brought from any other part of the world, that you can put it in a plane, it's ship that brings them. And those early time, there has never been any port around our areas. It has been a fishing community though, but these people were able to do exploration to find a deep lake connecting to what? The sea. That is from Adan, Azizanya. So it has been easy for them. So Adan connecting to Akuse those times has been a very brisk business area.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Akuse was where they were selling vehicles. Akuse was where they were selling things that were being imported from Europe. Before people in Accra or Cape Coast see anything that is from London, unless they come into Akuse. Yes.
Okay. So in during that period, we understand there were headquarters of companies that were established here.
Yes, good.
So can you give us names of those companies?
Yes.
Being here for over 50 years,
Okay.
born and bred here.
I told you, when it comes to a district headquarters, it comes with all the decentralized institutions.
Okay.
Like what happens in the office of the president.
Yes.
So Akuse has ever been a seat of a minister and even commissioners during the colonial time.
Okay.
So I don't know. People have their own intentions because Akuse land originally we all know is for Osudokus.
Okay.
I will not question it anywhere because our great grandfathers like D.W. Okansi, who has majority of the land here in Akuse, was a serious merchant. Yes, he was. So most of even GB Olivant was acquired by him. If you come to right opposite Akuse Government Hospital, and most of the lands within and around Akuse are for D.W. Okansi. You can't go around it. Due to business. And when Tema, Harbor, and Takrady was constructed just after independence or before independence, that brought the collapse of the Akuse port because it has been upgraded and it has been modernized. So if we have to talk about business with colonial masters, Akuse and Adan was the first and foremost. And people used to travel from Adan, even Keta and Anyangwi, on this same very river before Akuse Dam was built. There was no obstruction. They used to go beyond to Yeji, Bupe, and come back with salt, yam, and other items. But remember, before they go, things that we have here are the things that they used to move from here to the north. Yes, and people have been using canoe also. People use the manual canoe to do those businesses.
Okay, viewers, so we are still being educated. We are still being told more about Akuse. a community that has been in existence for a very long time. We're supposed to be one of the biggest community here in Ghana. If we are to talk about from the colonial time till now, they are telling us a lot about things that existed during that period or things that went through that period till now. So it's still Stormcitygh TV, and we call this one the Community Eye. And Mr. Boaji, so till now, we those who have not been able to live at that stage to witness, what are those few things that now we can pinpoint that, okay, these were things that were there during that time that we, this generation, can see as these were things that were there?
Thank you very much. One and first and foremost, the UAC, the United Africa Company, is still there. Okay. It's now being owned by the Akufo families. That's Gloria Akufo's brother, Dan Akufo. Their father did acquire it from the colonial people, so it's for their family.
And located where in
It's
Akuse?
located on the road from Akuse to Asuchare before you get to Dokbola Ame, Africana. Anyone who knows Mrs. Anaka's place just after Central Gospel Church, it's on your left-hand side. Yes, that the wooden structure, the wooden story building. It's now even housing, what's the name of the church? Word of Life and Apostolic Church. And some few individuals who are living in there. Secondly, when you come, there is a place we call Leopta.
Okay.
Right behind Akuse Lorry Station. And you see, Leopta, their property was connected to the Basel, the Presby Church.
Okay.
The Basel mission, they came here in all form. So when they were leaving, they have to leave their building, that's the church, that was built in 1941. The Presby Church was built in 1941. When they were leaving, they sold their part of their property, which is Leopta today. So that's why we are having discrepancies with even Presby, pertaining to the kind of wall they are erecting to go around their church premises. It doesn't look straight. It doesn't look awful. When you go behind the Presby Church into the old Presby Primary School, there is one structure even there, close to their day nursery that was built for them by Gloria Rigo. That same structure is connected to Leopta. So if this Basel mission were right in their senses, you think they'll never leave all this property, including to the church people? It never happened. Now, the third one, when you come to the post office is number 3 that tells you everything. Come to the hospital, the oldest hospital in this country. Not forgetting the police station. After the police station, we have PWD, Public Works Department. Okay. When you go to the VRA football park, and okay, you driving behind the football park, going to the mess hall. On your right-hand side, that's where they've turned to Parks and Gardens. That was PWD, Public Works Department. Okay. And the building we call Colonial House within the senior village. It's a colonial building that has been refurbished by Rollins. Okay. Yes. And there is one monument. There is this building. When you are getting into the VRA clubhouse on your right-hand side, there's this stone building that the roof has been taken off, built of a stone. It's one of them. It is one of them. And as I tell you, when you go into Amedeka, there's one of the steamer, the ship, that is wrecked. It's in the water now. When you go, you will see it now. Then, when you're getting into Amedeka, before you branch to where Brother Freddy, Mami Akuma's house, there is this roof, zinc fence, iron sheet building, painted black. It used to be a cocoa shed. Right in front of it, that is the route that takes you to where we used to have the railways that conveys the goods across the Akun Lagoon to the UAC yard, which we have today. Right in opposite with Mr. Anaka's house here in Akuse. Yes.
So now knowing all these things, what is the way forward for we the youth to bring back the glory days of Akuse that was widely known in Ghana? What do we the youth do now?
Okay. I think there is the need. Akuse now, we have 6 solid assemblymen. Yes, of course. I will not attack anybody, but in their own wisdom. What do we call tourism? We can create jobs for ourselves. If government is not willing and ready to employ any of us, tell me, if 2-3 sensible people can put their head together, tell me we cannot create jobs. We can. easily do them here in Akuse. Even we can go into small scale farming. We have river dividing Ghana into two. Can't we do some irrigation farming to get support from government? Plus, even we have prisoners here that are going waste. We can choose to adopt 20 or 50 of them to be using on our farm plantations or taking care of old monuments that we can use for tourist attraction. Because with the little we used to have with the VRA, the clubhouse, way back, like 20, 30 years ago, my brother, it's a boom. Nobody leaves Akuse and goes anywhere. It's people that brings themselves here.
Okay.
So, creating jobs that will put food on our table here in Akuse, my brother, we don't need any person with bigger certificate or a PhD to come and show us what we have to do in Akuse. It's about us to start thinking and think properly, because very soon we are going. The interest is our children, those we are leaving behind. Because if we are here today criticizing those who are dead and we are still sitting down, then what are we leaving for the next generation to come? Then excuse me to say we are being foolish. Sorry for using indecent language. Look at our road. Look at the condition of our hospital. Look at our market.
Okay.
Our drainage system is very, very poor.
So that's why I asked that. So what is the way forward to address all these situations?
Government, that's why I'm telling you, the assemblymen, they should be listening. Akuse have seen solid assemblymen. Amedeka have their own assemblymen. VRA quarters have their own assemblymen. Osokutu have their assemblymen. Akutwe have their assemblymen. How do we call it? I mentioned Osokutu, right? Did I mention Zongo? Yeah, Zongo. Everybody have their assemblymen. So if it is about Akuse, I wonder if they are united. If there is unity, my brother, we will not be talking about this.
Okay.
And we are soon going into district level elections. So people of Akuse, if you are listening, vote for people who have brain and have knowledge about what we want to be done. Then Akuse will go back to its olden days. It's old past glory I'm talking about. What happened to the glory? Somebody has taken it away and we can easily bring it back now.
We can easily bring it back, and it is now. This is Stormcitygh TV. This is the Community Eye Show, and it's proudly sponsored by iPlay Studios. If you want better quality recordings of videos, images of you naming ceremony and wedding ceremonies, you can link up to iPlay Studios. Printing of cards, that's flyers, posters, link up to iPlay Studios, and you get top-notch quality. This is the Community Eye Show, and I'm happy to have Mr. Kofi Abuaji educating as the greatest or the biggest, one of the biggest historians we have here in Ghana, precisely Akuse here, telling us much about Akuse. So, Mr. Abuaji, telling us all these things, telling us what to do next. What message do you have for us, the youth? Just one word for the youth of Akuse here. What one word do you have for us?
Courage. Courage conquers all. Because when you look up, it's pure frustration, depression, disappointment. Majority of the youth are caught up in alcoholism, drugs, prostitution. Most of all the vices are now openly common. Women are selling their pussy just to eat food. No, I don't need any priest. I don't need any fetish priest to tell me what is happening now within and around us. And when we are not careful, especially in this time of HIV/AIDS, trust me, then we might have a lot of dead people walking around us. So we have to stay focused because the future is going to be bright. Can you imagine? We have friends that passed. The only thing they've seen in this world was cassette. None of them have even grew up to even heard about anything called Bluetooth. They've never heard anything about anything called SIM card or memory chip. And we are fortunate today, have access to all kinds of phones. Talk to Abluchi and see the person right in front of you. So it tells you there are a lot for us to see and a lot of more for us to do for the motherland Akuse. For Akuse to grow so that it will attract others. Not forgetting Gaza Sugar Estate. Situated as a sanctuary, that alone brought a lot of people within and around us. Yes. Ranging from people who have schooled, people who have not schooled, technocrats, people with all kind of technology brain. We're all within Akuse here. That was when gazelle was booming. And can you imagine? Out of sugarcane alone, you get white sugar, brown sugar, molasses, and alcohol. That was the purpose of Gazelle Sugar Factory. And look at us today. After the 24th February coup, they've shifted the whole community into rice farming. And do you know the other side effect of rice production? Yes, it brings mosquito. And you know the economic importance of mosquito? Yes, they give us malaria. And we have to go and work and send money to the pharmaceuticals. Yes. So they know what they are doing for us. Kwame Nkrumah in his own wisdom knew it was sugarcane that was good for the area. Ghana has a plan. Let us revisit that very plan and you understand what I'm telling. Asuchare has been designed for sugar and all those industry. Look at today, we are all rice farmers. How much is a kilogram of 50 kilo of rice? 600 and half is 300. We decided that we used to buy 16 Ghana cedis, now selling for 70 Ghana. Can you imagine that? So I wonder how these our farmers are maneuvering in their farm work. So, Akuse, we need to unite. There is even the need for us to have a youth chief. Yes. We must start doing the thinking ourselves. You expect who to come and lead you? People who expect to follow us, you expect them to come and lead me and you, then it's going to be doom. It's like 3 blind mice going to visit a chief. Who will lead who? So Akuse, 6 assemblymen, when you are listening, please put your ass together. And some of us are ready and willing to work with you in all form and in all shape. Courtesy Stormcitygh Television.
Thank you, Mr. Boaji, for this wonderful submission. This is Stormcitygh TV. This is the Community Eye. We are very happy to have this education, and we pray and ask that God will give us the direction to be able to get back to the glory days of Akuse we know in history. This is still Stormcitygh TV. Thank you for today.